Houston police are investigating what led to a shooting that left a woman dead.
An up-and-coming rapper by the name of Lotta Desto was fatally shot in Houston.
Houston police say the 25-year-old was shot and killed in Houston September 24th early that morning. Investigators say Govan and her friend were in their vehicle, stopped behind a vehicle at a traffic light. Police say two men got out of the vehicle and started shooting at the women. We're told the passenger.
All for entertainment purposes only. I did not promote any violence or anything like that towards anybody. Just all for entertainment purposes only. Anything to do with props.
Was also shot but survived her injuries.
Yeah, right. She was gonna be on her way, but I heard she was getting money anyway. But at the same time, man, we just got to, see, as niggas or men or whatever, we got to be a little more careful when it be our daughters out here. Cause you know, my daughter got on some bull.
One night in 2022, Destiny Govan, better known by her stage name as Lotta Desto, was driving to a club with her friend. Sadly, this was the last time she would ever be seen alive. For that same night, she would be hunted down.
That's so crazy though. Like, imagine enjoying life, bro, not knowing that it's gonna be your last time ever doing that, man. That is terrifying to me.
And assassinated in cold blood by two gunmen. It was the night of September 24th, 2022, and Memphis rapper Lotta Desto was driving from the Spire nightclub to another nightclub in Houston, Texas, where the rapper was living at the time. She had just spent a few hours at her friend Crystal's birthday celebration, and everything seemed to be going just fine as Lotta Desto sat in the driver's seat of her silver Porsche SUV next to her 20-year-old friend, Amira Hughes. At around 2:30 a.m., she stopped at a traffic light behind a four-door vehicle near the 5500 block of Richmond Avenue. Suddenly, Lotta Desto and her friend saw two armed men approaching their
It's always at the stoplight, man. Always at the stoplight.
Vehicle. Reacting quickly to the situation, Desto pulled out her own gun as the men walked up to the car and opened fire. She was able to shoot one of them in the abdomen, but the men had more firepower than the two women in the car. During the shooting, Desto's friend suffered multiple gunshot wounds, while Desto herself was shot in the head. Although she fought bravely for her survival, 25-year-old Lotta Desto succumbed to her injuries. At around 2:40 a.m., Houston police responded to reports of the shooting. Upon arriving at the scene, they found the silver Porsche SUV with Tennessee plates and the two women inside it. They also found multiple shell casings from a rifle and a pistol on the ground next to the car. Although Desto was pronounced deceased immediately upon the police's arrival, her friend had survived her wounds and was immediately transported to the hospital. She survived the incident, and her testimony was crucial for the development of the case. A short while later, police found a man suffering from a gunshot wound in the abdomen in the parking lot across the street from where Lotta Desto and her friend had been ambushed. Police identified the man as 24-year-old Christian Isaiah Williams. He was immediately transported to the hospital, and thanks to the testimony of Desto's friend, he was immediately charged for his alleged role in the shooting. According to the court documents that would be made publicly available later on in the case, during the interrogation, Williams gave multiple conflicting stories about what happened. After the incident, police contacted Lotta Desto's parents to inform them of the tragic passing of their daughter. They were devastated at the news, and they confirmed to investigators that Desto had kept a license plate from her home state when she had moved to Houston a few months prior to the incident. Upon receiving the news of the hit, the entire Houston and Memphis hip-hop community was left in shock at the brutality of the crime that had taken the life of one of Tennessee's most talented up-and-coming rappers. From a very young age, Lotta Desto had shown an incredible amount of promise. and had already collaborated with artists as big as Lil Uzi Vert, who she had become very close friends with. Although
she collabed with Lil Uzi, Uzi? That's a pretty big flex right there. That's a pretty big flex.
She had had more than a few run-ins with the law when she was younger, including charges for aggravated assault and driving with a suspended license. She had been completely focused on her music before her passing, and it was common knowledge in the hip-hop industry that Desto's career was about to take off. In 2022, she had released her most well-known song with Lil Uzi Vert, which has garnered over 2 million views on YouTube to this day. In the wake of her passing, dozens of big names from the music industry came forward to express their condolences for the senseless tragedy and offered their support to the victim's family. During her funeral on October 8th, which took place in her hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, Lil Uzi spoke about his relationship to Lotta Desto, praising her for her loyalty and remembering how good of a friend she was to him. During his speech, he reported that while he was in rehab, she had called him every single day to see how he was doing and to give him words of encouragement to keep going in his journey of rehabilitation. Other big rappers, such as Kodak Black, also poured out tributes and praises to the late Memphis rapper on social media. Before her passing, Desto was reportedly about to sign with Kodak Black, and the two had already had conversations about potential future work together. In his tribute post to Lotta Desto, Kodak attached screenshots of his direct message with her and expressed his sorrow at the fact that they would no longer be working together. Amid the shock of Desto's passing, police were left in a difficult situation. Although they had Chris Williams and charged him for his involvement in the hit of Lotta Desto, the passenger who had survived the shooting had mentioned that the attack was carried out by 2 gunmen, meaning one of the suspects was still at large. One of the reasons why it would prove to be incredibly challenging for investigators to track down the other assailant is that there didn't seem to be a compelling motive for the hit. Some sources claim that the incident had been a robbery gone wrong, which was a possibility considering that before her passing, Desto had uploaded several pictures to social media in which she could be seen holding huge stacks of money. However, given the nature of the crime, this was very unlikely. Robberies are usually much quicker and less notorious, especially when the suspect wants to get away unharmed. In this case, however, Desto's car had been attacked from multiple angles by 2 men carrying pistols and rifles. Desto and her friend had been shot at multiple times each, which made it very clear that this was a targeted hit. With this in mind, police continued to search for possible motives. One theory that was investigated by detectives was that perhaps Desto's music had something to do with her hit, as she would sometimes disrespect rappers who had passed away on her songs, which is not something.
Come on, man. Why does everybody have to diss the unfortunately passing of people, man? Things are gonna happen if you diss the dead, man. That's why I don't diss the dead. And I stay civilian, man, because it's not cool, man.
That the streets take kindly to. But once again, it didn't seem like that a superficial insult in a song would be enough for someone to brutally gun Lotta Desto down like she was. Detectives' next lead came from a social media post several weeks after the incident, when Lotta Desto's father, Hernandez Govan, posted a cryptic status on Facebook which read, "I think I cursed you, Destiny. With my lifestyle, I apologize." Although the meaning of the message was not immediately clear, it soon became apparent that there was some overlap between Lotta Desto's passing and her father's dealings, especially since Hernandez Govan had racked up a series of serious criminal charges in his past, ranging from drug possessions to multiple charges of aggravated assault. Within his long history of crime, there was one particular incident that had made Hernandez Govan a lot of enemies. In November 2021, local Memphis rapper Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., better known in the hip-hop community as Young Dolph, was gruesomely assassinated as he was leaving a store in Memphis. Although detectives and investigators hadn't officially announced a connection between Hernandez Govan and the passing of young Dolph yet, multiple sources claim that Hernandez was the one who orchestrated the hit, a theory which seemed to be echoed by Govan's own social media post. As details about the hit on young Dolph began to surface, it became the most widely accepted theory that the assassination of Lotta Desto had been a revenge hit for her father's actions. Although Hernandez Govan was formally indicted for orchestrating the hit against young Dolph in November 2022, it hadn't been officially confirmed if there was a connection between the two hits. The investigation continued amid the emergence of these theories, but it wasn't until March of 2023 that a second suspect was arrested in Alexandria, Louisiana, in connection with the fatal shooting of 19-year-old Jeremiah Smith. To this day, both assailants are currently being held without bond, and there's been no further updates on their trial. However, given the severity of their crimes, it's more than likely that they will be spending the rest of their lives in prison. The tragic passing of Lotta Desto left a deep...
Hey, Lil Uzi Vert, that is a real one though. He said he spent over 200K on Lotta Desto's funeral. That's Lil Uzi Vert, a real one, man. You know, he be doing some stuff, man, but he a real one though.
Deep wound in the Memphis and Houston hip-hop community, especially since her career was about to be elevated to a completely different level when she was assassinated. Sadly, this is often the case for many rappers. Just 6 days before her passing, Desto posted on social media praising the city of Houston and mentioning that it was a much better city to live in than Atlanta. It was devastating for the rap community to see Lotta Desto become a fatal target in the very city that was set to see her shine. Desto leaves behind her loving parents, dozens of friends all over the country, and an entire community of rappers and members of the hip-hop community who will continue to honor her legacy in the future. Her fans were left heartbroken, wishing that they could have seen the star that Lotta Desto was about to become. Fortunately, the men responsible for
this video to the end, but RIP to Lotta, man, RIP, man. I don't really step on nobody, man. RIP, man. Condolences to her family and everything like that.